That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. It is 7 away from 9 o'clock and 19 degrees. I know I've jumped the gun a little bit, but hey, you know, we have royalty with us. It is Wednesday, March the 6th, and well, for everybody that we're expecting us to go live to air with a good friend of ours, Stephen G. Knight, well, we're going to do it now instead, because I'm just that good. I really, really am. Good morning, good afternoon, Stephen. It has been a while now, my friend. It's good to see you.
You too. It's always good to see you.
You know, I've been following you since you joined the Grinders and Jeremy Woodall, and of course, one of my favourite songs, I've got to be honest with you, is Take Her Drunk Ass Home, because I kind of feel that's a good night out, you know what I mean? But I absolutely love everything you've sent us in the past, but it's been about a year since we've caught up. What have you been doing?
I've been booking us crazy. You know, I've been kind of the acting manager and booking agent, and I do have a couple of people helping now a little bit. And but yeah, I mean, just trying to get it off the ground because it has been me and Jeremy's side project since 2012 or so, because we both had other things. He was still playing with Billy Joe Shaver a lot, which Billy doesn't play much now that he's older and slowing down. But so this whole past year, I mean, Billy did one or two shows, so it didn't really interfere with this. So and I just went full steam ahead with it. So now this isn't a side project. Now it's our main project. And then we've recorded 2 albums now. The second one that we recorded during this time period is about to come out in a day or two because we just finished mixing and mastering it. And the single you have, Hottest Thing in Town. And that album is a tribute to Billy Joe Shaver since, you know, Jeremy's been playing with him for 15 years. And, you know, he's one of the greatest Texas country songwriters in the world ever. So, you know, we did a tribute album to him, and then we'll get back to our originals with the next record.
Exactly. Now, at the same time, check me if I'm wrong here, but I think Jeremy's writing a book and putting a big part of that into, of course, his good friend that he's been playing with over the years. And believe me, I'm looking forward to actually seeing the book. I don't read too many books, but this has got my interest up altogether. How long's he been thinking about putting a book together?
I think he's been thinking about that for a while, because if you spend any time in a tour bus or on a van or whatever with Billy Joe, you have so many stories. Like I did a show with him, you know, a while back, and we were in the van together like 9 hours, and just listening to Billy Joe talk about his stories that he has with Chris Christopherson and Robert Duvall and Willie and it's just, you could sit there and listen to him basically and never get tired of listening to him. So Jeremy has years and years of touring with him to write about. And there's you know, he could write probably 3 books if he could do it. He doesn't have the time for that, obviously, but he has a lot of stories.
Exactly. Now at the same time, Mr. Schaefer, I mean, he's an icon in his own right, and what a career he's had. Of course, you mentioned a few people like Willie, for instance, and a number of others. But of course, Jeremy himself, mixing with people like that, take him to another extreme, don't they? And believe me, I absolutely love the work that's been coming out of the studio. As you know, Stephen, I'm an engineer myself, and I don't listen to the music as a fan would listen to it. I listen to it as an engineer. I break it down in its increments, and I absolutely love it. I got to be big plaudits to you. Of course, love your playing and your bass all the time. I really, really do. But you see, I'm biased. I can pick that out a mile away, if you know what I mean. So I absolutely love that. But at the same time, Jeremy's stuck out on a farm, hundreds of miles from anywhere, really, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 101 miles from me, and it's out in the middle of China. It's China Spring, which is West Waco, west central Texas, and it's kind of there's just acres of land all around him. So when I'm out there, I can't really get a signal much. That's why I don't do Skype calls to you from his studio, because I've thought about that. We just can't, you know. But you know, that's where he records out in his backyard, you know, and we it's just the two of us on the records. I mean, it's all Jeremy and me on the bass, and then I co-produce it from my car, actually, because we need to hear it outside the studio. So we can make it sound great in the room, in the studio room, but then if you take it out to your car, it might need a little more low end or a little more high end or whatever it needs. So you kind of have to listen to it in different places. So a lot of times I'm co-producing it from Dallas, from here, sitting in a parking lot somewhere in my car. As he's sending me stuff, I'm saying, okay, this one, there's a weird drum beat, or this one is weird, the high end isn't there, I can't hear the hi-hat enough, bring it back up, stuff like that. So I can co-produce it actually from 100 miles away, and I do.
Well, I've never thought of actually doing that from my car. I've never really tried that from my car. I'm going to have to give that a go, Stephen. Honestly, I've never thought of that before. That's a great idea. It really, really is. At the same time, and I'm going to interject here because, believe me, bro, I see you've brought out my favourite painting just for the occasion.
I did. I did.
You know,
well, I mean, I didn't bring it out. It's always there. I just know that you like it, so I always set the computer here where you can see the damn thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And
yeah, it's a Vincent Van Gogh, and but it's obviously it's not an original. It'd be worth thousands of dollars, but I think this was like from IKEA. You know what I mean? I think it's like freaking $50 or something. But it's a Vincent Van Gogh copy.
Well, I'm still expecting it in the mail, though. I am, even though I know it's your good wives or your good ladies. And believe me, you guys have got good taste. I love that photo. I really do. At the same time, I got to admit, my bro, you're looking healthy. The last time I saw you, you were looking a little under the weather. So it's nice to be able to see you're looking really buff, my mate.
Oh, well, I'm just back to living here as opposed to living when I was touring around the country with the last band. I mean, we were living in hotels and in vans, and you don't really live well. No, especially in a rock band where you're paying to play to be in a rock band. I mean, you play. We were giving away $1,500 a night, not making it. So you know what I mean, because rock is just backwards now. So I mean, now I'm just living normal again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I put back on 20, 30 pounds and been in the gym every day as opposed to sitting in a van driving to nowhere.
Exactly, and believe me, you are, and I got to admit, my friend, you are looking very, very healthy. You really, really are. So I want to talk about the hottest thing in town now. How did the lyrics of that come about?
That's a Billy Joe, that's part of the Billy Joe tribute album, because basically what happened, Eddie Shaver was Billy Joe's son, who was the guitar player for him, and he was going to leave to do a solo record in 2001. So he picked Jeremy to be his replacement. He watched him play, sat and watched him play, and told his dad, "Here's my replacement." And unfortunately, Eddie didn't get to go be solo. He ended up, he had an accidental overdose before that happened on New Year's Eve of 2001. But after a few years of, I think it was 2 or 3 years that Billy was, just depressed and not doing much, he did end up going over to Jeremy's house and putting him in the band. So he's been playing, he kind of became his surrogate son. That's why we named the album Surrogate Son. Because, like I said, Billy made a point of telling me, Jeremy's like a son to me. And I said, I know, I can see that a mile away. You don't even have to say it. And like some of the pictures of us together, it's when he'd just come over to the house and make sure Jeremy was okay, just like it was his kid, and like pay his phone bill for him or something. You know what I mean? He was like his dad. So the album name came from that, and the songs are ridiculously good. So we recorded 15 of them, and we did a live track on there as well with Billy singing. And I just overdubbed. They did it in Ireland, I think it was, or UK somewhere. And I wasn't on that tour, but there was just acoustic guitars and Billy singing. So at the studio, I went in and threw a bass track on it, and so we have a live track now with Billy singing as a bonus track on the record. Nice.
Now, I'm going to ask you this, my friend. When are you going to send me the completed album? We would love to be able to enter this into our system and have it playing here at Galaxy. But,
I will when we have, I will. We're finishing the mastering like literally over the last 2 or 3 days. So, I mean, once it's uploaded to our, iTunes and Apple and all that, I'll send you whatever you want. But right now we're pushing that single for Texas radio, and But yeah, so of course when I have it, I will send it to you. Of course, you know that.
Nice, my friend, because believe me, we do want to get right behind this and add it to our system as fast as possible. We really do. You know me. I'm just greedy. I want it now. I really do. Like a kid at Christmas time. And of course, Jeremy plays a distinctive Texas-style guitar in his own right, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's people ask me how to describe us because we're not straight up Texas country like the traditional guys are that have a fiddle player and a steel guitar player and all this. We're just a three-piece power trio, really. We're just him on guitar and vocals and me on bass and a drummer. And I always say to people, if you could take Stevie Ray Vaughan and switch it to country rock as opposed to blues rock like he was, then it would be like what we are.
You know, I got to agree with you. I really, really do. And now you've hit the nail on the head, to be quite honest, because I was actually searching when I first heard this for the style of music, and I kind of liken you. I don't know whether you are familiar with a guy called Craig Fisher, and believe me, he's a big star in his own right. We're going to be a big star in his own right. And I kind of, but comes out of Texas, and I thought, you know, there's a traditional Texas feel to Jeremy's music. So, Stephen, without further ado, I'm being told in my ears that we better play this. So here is Jeremy Lynn Woodall and the Grinders talking to Steve from the Grinders with the hottest thing in town right here at Galaxy. Love this.
Hi Cheryl, darling.
Love this, Steve. This is brilliant.
Thanks.
Absolutely do. If the rest of the album's going to be anything like this, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a great album. There's not any bad songs. I mean, we picked, 15 of Billy's greatest songs that we always play live, and we recorded them. I mean, some of them are made famous by Waylon Jennings because, Billy wrote a lot of hits for Waylon, and he wrote hits for Willie. So a lot of them people think are Waylon hits, but they're actually Billy Joe Shaver songs,
Well,
And Jeremy has the same problem. Jeremy played in a band called Diamondback Texas, and they're pretty well known here in Texas, and they have a hit called House on the Hill that everyone thinks is just a Diamondback song, but it's Jeremy when Jeremy was in Diamondback before he joined Billy Joe Shaver. He was in Diamondback and he wrote that song. So, he has hits on the radio here, too, that other people have done, and everyone thinks it's the other person's song, just like Billy has Waylon. People think it's Waylon's song, and it's actually Billy's. Jeremy has the same issue.
Believe me, I fully understand. I've spoken to a few people over the years that have worked with other bands and get associated always with the other band, whereas actually...
Right.
Yeah, they did the music for it, they wrote it and stuff like that.
Hi Sean.
Sorry, I'm just going through. Barbara gave me screeds and screeds of information here, my friend, and I'm actually just going through it.
You knew nothing about them, so I had to.
Yeah, well,
That's some work I do, you know.
I'm loving this. I'm really loving this. I really am.
Nothing like giving myself a plug.
Let's go back to the desk. You're wonderful. You are,
Oh,
Barbara.
it's so nice to catch up with Steve.
It is.
It's been a year. Whoa.
You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, of course. Jeremy Woodall in the hottest thing in town, joined by the bass player out of the band, the Grinders, as well as Stephen G. Knight. And it is an absolute pleasure to catch up with Stephen. We've known him for a number of years now. In fact, haven't spoken for a year. Of course, he's looking extremely healthy. But Steve, you taught yourself how to play the bass.
Man, I did get Jeremy on the line. He's in China Spring. If he cuts out, he cuts out, man. But here he is. You can say hello. He's on my phone.
Well,
What's up, man?
it is
How you doing, brother?
Oh, look, it's an absolute pleasure to be speaking to you, Jeremy, and believe me, you're a big hit here at Galaxy 107 FM. One of my personal favourites is Take a Drunk Ass Home. I got to be honest with you, my friend. But, hottest thing in town, I can see this going through the roof.
Really, man? That's fantastic, man. We thank you guys so much for playing. We're big fans of you guys, too. We follow you guys over here on the States, man. Thank you guys so much for playing.
Well, it is an absolute pleasure to play a calibre of music that you produce, and believe me, my friend, I know the scenario, especially having Stephen out in the car checking and producing it. It's not easy to be able to do that, and the quality of the work that you're turning out right now is absolutely superb. Believe me, we can't wait for the rest of the album to come out.
And to tell you the truth, that's not even a completed track. And Stephen, we're still actually working on it, mixing and mastering, and just trying to bring it to the table. That doesn't even have what they call dithering. It's like one of those things that, like at the end, but if you dig it, we dig it too, brother. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I do, and I'm really humbled that you've been able to take the time out and have a chat to us today, especially via Steve. Now, I've known Stephen for a number of years, and he and I are good friends, but we've always talked about getting Stephen down here, down under. Now, just wondering, Jeremy, would you consider coming and playing for New Zealand audiences?
Absolutely, anytime, man. We would love to do that. That's like we're looking forward to it someday.
You know, it would be an absolute pleasure to have you down here and performing in New Zealand, and we might even share you with Australia, our closest neighbour. You know, we have a love-hate relationship with them, but we always like to take their money. What do you reckon?
Yeah, hell yeah. Of course we'd love to come play out there. It's just a matter of getting us there, man.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, if we could stay, we'll just come down and hang out with you for a couple of weeks and see what happens.
Yeah, look, you know, I'm fully endorsing that one. We would love to be able to have you down here, and you know, it would be fun. We can find things for you to do. Believe me, we've got I don't know, Barbara, we could take them down to the bottom of the South Island, throw them off a bridge. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. What do you reckon, Steve? Do you feel like being thrown off a bridge?
I thought that's what you said.
Yeah.
Throw us off a bridge. What are we landing in? Hopefully a body of water.
Yeah, well, there is water involved. We have a thing down here in New Zealand called bungee jumping, my friend, and it's
I've done that before. And I hated it. I was terrified.
Good. Let's do it again.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think that was back in 1991.
Well, I tell you.
Jumped off one of those.
I tell you what, Stephen, I challenge you to join me doing it, because I absolutely love doing it. I've got to be honest with you.
I've got to see this one.
Because I think you should absolutely do one thing a day that scares you. What do you reckon?
All right.
Nice. And Jeremy, I'm going to get my assistant Barbara, my PA Barbara, to pass on to Stephen and to yourself the video of a thing called a hoo-hoo grub that we do here in New Zealand. Have you ever heard of one?
Absolutely. Send it over.
well, I tell you what, we have a thing here in New Zealand where we eat live hoo-hoo grubs, and believe me, you bite off the head, you don't want to eat that. But when you crunch down on it, it's like eating creamy peanut butter. And I would be happy to be able to sit down to a bowl of these things with both you,
Yeah.
Steve, and of course your drummer as well. So when you come here, it's part of the traditions of things that we do. Stephen now is starting to think about this deeply. Do I want to go to New Zealand? But it is something that we do, and believe me, I'll get Barbara to pass on the video, the instructional video of it, so you know I'm not pulling your leg, but believe me, it's a lot of fun to do. You just got to wonder about the guy handing you a bowl of these live things, expecting you to eat them though.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I only understood a part of what you said. There's something about eating something live out of a bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. Believe me, you'll get the video, Steve. You'll get it. Yeah, believe me. And then pass that on to Jeremy. He will absolutely laugh at both of you, actually, because it is something that we do here in New Zealand. Just for you visitors.
Not all of us.
So thank you so much for having us today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely, my friend. I've got to move on myself. So thanks for joining us today, Jeremy. It has been an absolute pleasure. Stephen, as always, we want you to come back. Next song, please bring it on to us. Come back, tell us all about it and everything like that. We want to be able to promote the whole album for you guys, and we'll have you play on the country show on a Sunday, on the artist show on a Monday night, and of course I'm playing you through the breakfast shows as well. So congratulations, guys. Bring on and keep that good work coming.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you very much.
It has been a pleasure meeting you, Jeremy. It really has. Looking forward to meeting you in person here in New Zealand. Steve, love you, my friend. Don't be a stranger. Let's not do this in a year's time. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I really have not realized it's been a whole year since we spoke, but yeah, here we go. Yeah, it goes quick, man.
It does, especially when you're busy. It really, really does. And you know, my bro, you are family here at Galaxy, so, you know, you can just call us anytime you feel like it, really.
All right, man, I'll do that.
Okay, buddy.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. That's Jeremy Woodall, and of course the bass player from the Grinders, Stephen G. Knight.
You